Hey guys, welcome back and thanks for tuning in to this review of the Steel Wheel Gekko 1510 knife. This is going to be a really nice knife for camping, for bushcrafting, for outdoors. I've been pretty impressed with it in the work that I've done with it so far. In this review, you're going to get all the specs as well as see some great testing footage. Stick around. All right, let's start off by just giving you guys a nice look at the blade itself. And I'm gonna say that is a really gorgeous knife. I love the lines to it. I love how it's designed. The Gekko series from Steel Wheel, in my opinion, they've managed to pull off something pretty interesting as far as aesthetics. It seems to have an angular look to it, but at the same time, kind of organic too. It doesn't seem like those things would go well together, but they do, in my opinion, at least in this series of knives. And touching on a few of the design details, you can see that we've got a nice polished tang here that looks really nice, and a pommel right there, which you can easily feed some paracord through for a nice lanyard type of a grab kind of thing right there. Screw together construction, it looks like, on those micarta scales, excuse me, and just a really good looking grind, and nice effective cutting grind as well. Really high. You know, it's not a full flat grind, but almost may as well be given how high that grind is. Sort of a modified saber or something like that with all of these great little facets cut into the blade. Once again, kind of angular yet organic. The steel on it, N690 CO, which has been performing really nicely in the testing that I've done with it, which hasn't been extensive, I'll give you that. Head over to Crockett 20's channel to see a lot more testing with this knife. It is his blade. And he really put it through its paces. So for me, it was more or less just kind of confirming everything that he's already proved and getting my hands on it for a very short period of time. All right, let's set the knife aside and look at that sheath. Let's get some details on that. Made in Italy, handmade in Italy. That's very cool. And it is clearly stitched together, as you can tell there, and designed. I'll put the knife back into the sheath real quick to kind of show you how they go together. And it seems like it could fall out of there, and if I pull on that lightly, it seems like it might. However, once you've got that on your belt, that actually creates a good amount of friction, a good amount of tension right there as it kind of wraps around your body, which does aid in retaining that knife inside the sheath. So I don't think retention is ever going to be an issue as long as you are wearing this on your belt. And it does seem to have a couple different methods of wearing it. If you wear it vertically like this, you would feed your belt obviously sort of through like that, but it seems like you could also, depending on your belt size or whatever method of carry you have, feed something through this way as well and have it in more of a horizontal fashion. So I like that you have both options there, and it seems like it would work pretty well in either situation. Do we have any criticisms for the sheath? Well, I guess the fact that it's leather, but honestly, leather is really comfortable. So it's effective, it works, it's, like I said before, very comfortable. I don't know, maybe leather's not so bad. If there's one thing I would say is not so great about this particular sheath, and I don't know if I can show you very well in camera, but if I get my fingers down in there, I can definitely feel it where this blade has kind of chewed into and dug into the leather itself, looking for that path to enter into the sheath. So it kind of stabs this side and stabs that side a little bit, and you can I can feel that anyway. I can't really describe it to you or show it to you because of the lighting situation right now. And occasionally, as I was putting that back into the sheath, I found myself, stabbing into the leather very little. I wouldn't aggressively push it in there. And so, that was a little bit of a downside, I suppose. But as long as you're being mindful and being careful with your knife, as you always should, that probably will never be an issue for you. All right, let's get into a closer examination and kind of talk about my experience in using this knife. So as I said before, the micarta is great. It feels really good in hand. I found no ergonomic issues with it. It just cut great as I was doing my work with it, and felt good in several positions. Not really designed for this kind of position so much because it has a slight horseshoe shape to it there. If you wanted a really good kind of neutral position for turning into sort of some backwards cutting or some side cutting like that, what you need is more of a straight handle. So not so much designed for that, however, it works for the limited amount of that type of cutting that you're going to do. Really, it's ideal in this configuration right here, or this grip, I should say. This grip works great too. Obviously, reverse grip feels really nice as well. I also found as I was doing some work kind of drilling into a log with this, that was not uncomfortable on my palm right there. As I was getting that pommel into my palm and kind of using this sort of a grip with it, no, not uncomfortable at all. And so really I don't find anything wrong with this knife ergonomically. That once again, that micarta feels really nice in hand. The way they've rounded that tang on all sides is just so nice, and it's so nice in hand in all situations. The price tag certainly reflects the attention to detail and the level of quality that you get with this knife. Price tag is roughly 200 bucks, maybe 195 or so. And that's not cheap. That is not cheap for a knife in this size range. And we haven't talked about the size or weight, so let's get into that. We did just cover the price though, so let's call that one done. But bringing in the ruler for a little bit of a look at our size, let's go ahead and get that going. We've got our ruler here, and it looks like this is going to be roughly 9¼ inches by my estimation, 9¼ or so, not quite 9½ in length. And if we were to switch that over to millimeters, it looks like right around centimeters, 23 or so, 23½ maybe. And of course we want to see what the weight is, both on the knife and the knife with the sheath. So zooming out just a little bit here, let's go ahead and switch that on, and it looks like our knife weight is going to be 6.8 ounces. And if we throw the sheath on top of that, 9.5. Okay, so we get a little added weight, of course, with the sheath, but we need that. 6.8, not bad. Not bad for a knife of this size. Now we got you the overall length. We didn't really address the blade length, so we'll do that again real quick. Not quite 4.5, but almost 4.5 there on inches. And centimeters is around 11 centimeters. So good length. Overall, I think this is darn near ideal for all the work that, sort of camping, survival, bushcraft type of work. Definitely if it's, if your price range allows it, this is going to be a very, very nice knife to have. Not quite in the super high, deluxe custom range, but this is definitely a very nice knife, and it's going to get some hard work done for you for many years to come. All right, let's go ahead and line up the steel wheel Gekko with a few other blades just to get sort of a size and use comparison. I think one that I would definitely throw in here is this guy, which is far less expensive, somewhere in the $50 range, and that is the Gerber Strongarm. Compares very favorably in size, as you can tell. Different steel, kind of subpar in relation to this one. This is about a 420 HC, that's what that is. It's a good steel, but not N690 CO. Next, I want to get into this knife right here, which I really, really like, the Scar Blades Crusader. Almost doesn't fit on screen. We'll turn that a little bit so you can see it. Definitely quite a bit heavier. I'm not going to list all the weight and lengths on all these. Just wanted to kind of throw that one in there. Maybe one other. How about this guy right here? This is the CRKT Karen Hood Hoodwork. Very nice, hard-working knife. Much heavier. Well, a bit heavier. Definitely heavier than the Gekko. But otherwise, fairly comparable in size and in, sort of functionality. Fills the hand a little more. Obviously has serrations on it. I don't think that they have an option for no serrations. But it does really great work, and I've done a review of that one in the past. Once again, I want to thank Crockett20 for loaning me this knife. I am really, really impressed with it. The ergonomics are fantastic. The edge geometry is excellent. It's just a great, great knife to play with and to carry. I'm the Late Boy Scout. That's been my review. We'll see you guys later.